Hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and welcome to another episode of Foxy's Fun Inspirational Chats. And today I will be your host. In this episode is about a little boy who loved beavers. This little boy's name was Georgie, although really George, but he was known as Georgie by both his family and all his friends. Georgie used to relish the thrill in seeing beavers gnawing up woods in the woodland forests and everything. He'd always used to ask his mother one Saturday afternoon if he'd like to go and see the beavers in the forest. His mother, who always used to ask Georgie this question, "Oh, but don't you get bored of seeing the same thing over and over again?" But resisting his mother's temptation to get him to be interested in something else, Georgie would just say, No, I want to see the beavers. Oh, please, mother, please." So his mother, who would reluctantly agree, would take him to the nearby woodland to see the beavers. The woodland forest was peaceful, with a stream splashing and splattering, and all the beavers observing the homeland of the forest. Some even taking a little swim or a little bathe in the forest river, and some gnawing on wood so that they could build a dam over the flowing stream. This used to fascinate Georgie enormously. Although his mother did express concerns over whether Georgie would eventually get bored of this too gave her a sense of interest seeing something like this as well. It may not have been entirely her entertainment of thrilling glory, but for Georgie it was entertainment of thrilling glory for him, pretty much. They would do it almost every Saturday, but every Sunday he would happily prefer to stay at home and either watch television or read books about beavers, pretty much. Georgie just loved everything to do with beavers. But one day, something strange had happened. Hard times came by. Georgie and his mother were walking to their local forest to see the beavers, when suddenly they saw two workmen wearing hard builders' hats. They were hammering up a sign. As they inched closer and closer to the workmen suddenly catch sight of both Georgie and his mother, and he walked up to them and they said, "I'm sorry, you two," said the workman. "Sadly, this forest is sadly closed to public visiting." "Oh, why is that?" asked Georgie's mother. "Sadly," the workman said, "there was a fire last night, and as the firefighting team are putting a fire out." "But we don't see any smoke," said Georgie, but then, when he was looking up, he could see some smoke billowing from the forest. This shocked Georgie immensely. "The firefighters got everything under control," said the workman. "All that they've pretty much successfully put out the fire, but it's required hard work and hard intervention measures. So sadly, no public visitors can see the beavers today, I'm afraid." Georgie and his mother were deeply disappointed and shocked by the news, but they were happy to hear it. But they knew what the workman said was vitally important, and they had to go about the right thing by respectfully turning away and walking back home. They got back home, as they could not see any beavers, Georgie's mother read her newspaper, as did his father, who would always be sitting in his armchair on the Saturday just reading the newspaper. And Georgie would end up just looking at his beaver books. But here came the surprise. Knock, knock, went to the door. Georgie rushed down the stairs before his parents could answer the door. He opened the door, and much to his surprise, he saw his best friend, Ernest. "Oh, hi, Ernest," Georgie said happily. "Hey, hello, Georgie," said Ernest. "Your parents rang my mum and asked if I could come over and play." Georgie, accepting this invitation, immediately said, Yes, let's play beavers and let's read books about beavers." "Okay," said Ernest, "let's do this." And both the boys, scrambling to Georgie's bedroom, decided to play beavers and read books about beavers. My goodness, did Georgie and Ernest and his best friend Ernest love beavers so much. They loved almost nothing more. They'd sometimes talk nearly nothing but beavers, or otherwise they would talk of cats. As they were playing beavers, there was a cat already sneaking into Georgie's costume basket. Oh. "Oh, Ash," Georgie said. "Come on, Ash," he said to the cat. "Come on, time to come out of my costume basket." And he gently lifted his black and white cat, out of his costume basket and put him on the floor. Ash was Georgie's cat, as well as his parents' cat. "Meow," Ash said, and walked respectfully out of Georgie's bedroom. Georgie and Ernest were now left alone, messing around, playing beavers and reading books about beavers, and even fictional storybooks regarding beaver characters. Soon Ernest's playdate was over and he went home, and Georgie fell asleep happily that although his beaver visit was spoilt, he had a nice time playing with his friend, though he did worry about the forest. The next day came, and Georgie, looking out of his window, saw men putting beavers into a truck. Georgie, who immediately rushed out of his bedroom, got dressed, and rushed to the forest. And then he came and approached a man. He said, "Excuse me," he asked the workman. It was the same workman he saw. Yes, my boy," said the workman. "Oh, what's happening to these poor beavers? Why are they being taken away?" "I'm sorry, my boy," said the workman, politely but sadly. "These beavers sadly need to be escorted to a new home. They're being escorted to a sanctuary because the forest, it is sadly too unsafe for them." Georgie's heart sank. But then a smartly dressed man, elderly man with grey hair, partially parted, combed and gelled, with balding at the back of his head, blue eyes and a prominent nose and a fairly tall and slim figure, approached the young boy and said, "Oh, hello, my boy," said the older man. "My name is Henry Tamworth, and I run a beaver sanctuary." And he extended his right hand, and then Georgie extended his right hand to Henry, and they both shook hands. "My name is Georgie," Georgie said to Henry, the sanctuary owner. "I love the forest where the beavers are, and it's so sad it's no longer safe for them." The old man looked dead into the eye of Georgie and could see the boy's worried face. He was nearly about to get tearful, but he smiled. He ended up bravely smiling at Georgie and said, "Why don't we offer you a voluntary position at my sanctuary, or give you some free membership. That way you and your parents can visit the sanctuary any time you like, and you could even help out there if you wanted, helping the beavers. Georgie, who was nearly about to cry, was so happy with Henry's suggestion that he wanted to do this almost immediately. "Oh, yes, thank you, Mr. Henry Tamworth," Georgie said in excitement. "And I'm going to go back home to Mum and Dad right now." And just as he was about to run off, Henry said, "Excuse me, Georgie, my boy," he said. Might I come with you? Because I think your parents ought to know as well, because if we've not consented with them, or asked them their permission, this could lead to trouble." So instead of running all the way back home, Georgie and the old man, Henry Tamworth, the owner of a beaver sanctuary, walked slowly towards Georgie's home. Henry knocked on Georgie's parents' doors. Georgie's father answered the door. Yes. "Oh, hi, hello, sir." "Georgie," he said, looking at his son, "what on earth are you doing with this old man?" "Oh, it's okay, Dad," Georgie said to his father. "This is Henry Tamworth. He's the owner of a beaver sanctuary. I saw the beavers being taken out of the forest because it's not safe for them anymore." Listening to Georgie, his father was like, "Okay, and what is this Mr. Henry Smith doing here?" "Your Georgie," Henry said to Georgie's father. "He takes such an interest in beavers and he cares deeply about them. I suggested that he, along with you and your wife, his mother, have free membership to visit my beaver sanctuary, or he can help out if he wanted to. It's completely fine by me." Georgie's father was delighted hearing all of this from Henry himself, the sanctuary owner. Then Georgie's mother came over. Henry Tamworth spoke to Georgie's mother and said everything about what Georgie loved, said everything about Georgie's beaver interest, and also the possibility of allowing him to volunteer at the beaver sanctuary and to help out with looking after the beavers he had rescued from the forest, or any forest that's deemed no longer safe for beavers. Georgie's mother was so delighted. Before long, Georgie was a volunteer, although he had to have assistance because he was just a boy, and he would come to Henry Tamworth's sanctuary every Saturday to not only watch and observe the beavers, but also to help look after them. Georgie even got to hold a beaver and give it a cuddle, and he helped to feed it, gave it some wooden logs to it so it could mess about with it or build its own dam by its lake. Georgie had such a brilliant time, and even Georgie was asked by a journalist photographer to have his picture taken. A picture of Georgie holding a beaver. The photographer got his camera ready, took his picture, and Georgie made the front newspaper page of a picture of him holding a beaver. His father read the newspaper and he was delighted and so happy for his son to see a picture of him holding a beaver, as well as seeing a picture of him and Henry Tamworth holding a beaver in a picture on the front page of a newspaper. Georgie could not have been a happier boy, and could not have been happier to have a loving interest and an enthusiastically thrilling interest with beavers. And Henry Tamworth could not have been happier to have a young volunteer like Georgie, despite the fact he's just a little boy. Georgie, his parents, and Henry Tamworth were happy people, and all loved nothing more than beavers. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, everybody. Please let me know what your thoughts were in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I shall certainly see you in the next video. Ta-ta, another time. From Foxy.